We've always been taught that more is better, especially when it comes to health checkups. Catch things early, stay ahead, do the full body scan, run all the tests. It sounds responsible, even wise. But here's a truth that's harder to hear, especially after you turn 70. Some medical tests might actually do you more harm than good. And no, this isn't fear-mongering. It's a shift in how modern medicine is starting to think about aging. Cut to soft visuals of medical labs, older adults at clinics, then a close-up of someone frowning at test results. Imagine going in for a routine scan, something you thought would give you peace of mind, and walking out with a shadow on your lung, or a suspicious spot on your kidney. Now, maybe that spot is nothing. Maybe it would never have affected your life. But once it's found, you're sent for more tests, then maybe a biopsy, possibly even surgery, which comes with its own risks, especially as we age. And all of that for something that may never have caused you a single symptom. The truth is, after 70, the game changes. Your body is more vulnerable and just to disease, but to the stress of procedures, false positives, and overtreatment. What used to be helpful when you were 40 may now trigger a cascade of worry, side effects, and even hospital stays. And the medical world is finally starting to admit it. Even the US Preventive Services Task Force, yes, the folks who guide national screening policies, revised their recommendations for older adults in recent years. Not because they're giving up on care, but because they're realizing that more care isn't always better care. So here's what we're doing in today's video. I'm going to walk you through 5 common health checkups that people over 70 are often told to get, but may want to avoid. We'll explain what the risks are, why they're no longer helpful at a certain age, and what safer alternatives might actually serve you better. Because this stage of life isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about smart choices, not just more choices. So if you or someone you love is over 70 or even approaching it, this video might change the way you think about healthcare. Not to scare you, but to empower you. Let's dive in. Let's talk about colonoscopies. For years, we've been told this is the gold standard in preventing colon cancer, and to be fair, it can save lives. But after age 70, the picture becomes more complicated. See, colonoscopy isn't just a quick test. It starts days before, with a bowel prep that forces your body to flush itself out completely. That process can cause severe dehydration and electrolyte imbalances, especially in older adults. Your body just doesn't bounce back like it used to. And then comes the sedation, something your doctor may say is routine. But in someone over 70, anesthesia can be risky. It's not uncommon to see confusion, dizziness, or even falls in the days following the procedure. Let me tell you about George. George is 82. Former math teacher, loves gardening, still sharp as a tack. He went in for a routine colonoscopy, just being proactive. The results? Totally clear, not a single problem. But that evening, still groggy from the sedation, George got up too quickly and fell. He broke his hip. 3 weeks in rehab, his independence shaken, and all for a scan that didn't find anything. The truth is, many of the tiny polyps found during colonoscopies at that age are harmless. They don't grow, don't turn cancerous. But once they're spotted, there's pressure to do something, often removing part of the colon, which comes with serious risks. So here's the better path. If you're over 70 and not experiencing any symptoms, consider a non-invasive stool test instead. It's simple, effective, and far less risky. Tests like the FIT, fecal immunochemical test, can detect blood in the stool, a key early sign of colon issues, without needing sedation or surgery. Medicine should do no harm. And after 70, our focus should shift from catching everything to making sure what we do actually helps. So before scheduling that colonoscopy, just to be safe, ask yourself, is it still worth the risk? Or is there a safer way forward? Let's keep going. There are 4 more tests we need to talk about, and they might surprise you. It sounds smart, maybe even high-tech. A full-body scan, like taking a deep look under the hood of a car, just to be safe, just to make sure everything's running fine. But here's the uncomfortable truth. After 70, full-body scans can cause more worry than wisdom. The idea seems logical: catch something early, fix it before it becomes a problem. But what these machines often really find are incidental findings, tiny abnormalities, spots, shadows, slight bumps, and most of them completely harmless. But once something is spotted, even if it's meaningless, there's a cascade. More scans, more specialists, sometimes biopsies, even surgeries, and with that, complications. Let me introduce you to Betty. Betty is 78, energetic, still gardening, still driving, still laughing louder than anyone in the room. She paid out of pocket over 104, a full-body scan that promised peace of mind. The scan showed a tiny lesion on her kidney. It looked unusual, but not clearly dangerous. Still, the doctors recommended surgery, just in case. The result? A long recovery, an infection, months of discomfort. And that lesion? It was benign. No one was trying to harm her. The intention was good. But it was a ghost hunt chasing after shadows, paying the price in real pain. And here's something else they don't always tell you. Most full-body scans aren't covered by insurance. You pay hundreds, sometimes thousands out of pocket for something that may lead you into a maze of fear and procedures. So what's the takeaway? Listen to your body. Not every scan tells the full story, and not every finding needs to be fought. Machines are powerful tools, but they're not fortune tellers. And at this stage of life, peace of mind doesn't come from scanning every inch of your body. It comes from being present, noticing real symptoms, and having doctors who treat you like a person, not just a set of images. So before you sign up for that next scan, ask yourself, am I looking for health or chasing fear? Let's keep going. There are 3 more checkups to rethink, and each one matters. If you've ever been told to take a cardiac stress test, you probably nodded and thought, well, better safe than sorry, right? Especially if you're over 70, it sounds smart. Put your heart to the test. See how it handles pressure. But what if I told you, for many older adults, that test might lead you down the wrong path? Here's the thing. Stress tests work by making your heart pump harder on a treadmill, or with medication then, watching how it reacts. But after 70, your body responds differently. The heart might show slight irregularities that aren't dangerous at all yet, still get flagged as suspicious. That's when the cascade starts. You're sent for more tests, maybe a cardiac catheterization, then perhaps a stent placement, even if you feel fine. Sometimes even open heart surgery. And with each step, the risks: ground bleeding, infection, kidney damage. Let me tell you about George. George is 74. He felt phonino chest pain, no shortness of breath. But during a routine checkup, his doctor suggested a stress test, just to be sure. The results looked borderline, so they went in with a catheter, found a mild narrowing. They put in a stent. 2 days later, George developed a severe infection at the catheter site. Weeks of antibiotics, months of fatigue. His active life? Gone quiet. And here's the kicker. That narrowing in his artery, it may never have caused a single symptom. So what's the takeaway? Cardiac stress tests can be life-saving, but only when they're truly needed. If you're having symptom chest tightness, unexplained shortness of breath, fatigue, then yes, test your heart. Absolutely. But if you're feeling well, moving comfortably, no red flags, think twice. Ask, what will this test really change? What will we do with the result? Because the goal isn't to do more, it's to do what matters. To protect the heart, not panic it into unnecessary procedures. You deserve care that brings peace, not fear. Let's move on. We still have 2 more common tests to rethink, and they might surprise you. If you're over 70 and your doctor suggests another colonoscopy even though your last one was clean, you might ask yourself, do I really need this again? It's a fair question. Because while colonoscopies are powerful tools for cancer prevention, they come with real risks, especially as we get older. Let's say you've already had 2 or 3 normal colonoscopies in your 60s and early 70s. No polyps, no concerns. Why go back in? Here's the thing most people don't realize. Colon polyps grow slowly. I mean, Really, slowly, we're talking 10 to 15 years to become dangerous. So if you're in your late 70s, you might not even live long enough for a new polyp to become a real threat. But the risks of the procedure? Those are immediate. Sedation can cause confusion, brain fog, and dizziness, which can lead to falls. There's also the chance of dehydration from bowel prep, or even perforation of the colon, which requires emergency surgery. Let me tell you about Eileen. Eileen is 78, strong-willed, independent, still lives on her own. She had 2 previous colonoscopies, both completely normal, but her doctor recommended a third one just to stay ahead. During the procedure, her colon was perforated. She was rushed into surgery, and though she recovered physically, she never regained her full independence. She had to move in with her daughter. The confidence she once had? Gone. And here's the heartbreaking part. That colonoscopy probably didn't need to happen. Medical guidelines now suggest if you've had several clean screenings and have no new symptoms like bleeding, weight loss, or sudden digestive changes, you might not need another colonoscopy at all. It's not about ignoring your health. It's about choosing wisely, knowing when the risk of the procedure outweighs the benefit. So, before you sign up for another screening, ask, am I doing this out of habit because my body is truly asking for it? Listen to your history. Trust your clean results. And most importantly, honor your stage of life not by doing more, but by doing what matters most. Let's keep going. There's one final test left on our list, and it might be one of the most misunderstood of all. Let's return, one last time, to the cardiac stress test because this one deserves to be repeated. Earlier, we talked about how this test, which pushes your heart under pressure, can sometimes uncover more uncertainty than clarity, especially after 70. But here's the part many people still miss. Even a normal result doesn't guarantee a smooth ride. Because once you're in the system, once the test is ordered, what comes next can lead you somewhere you never expected to go. Let me tell you about Harold. Harold is 76. No chest pain, no shortness of breath, no heart history. Just a little tired like most of us feel sometimes. His doctor suggested a stress test just to rule things out. So he did it. The test showed some borderline changes. Next came the angiogram, then a stent, and then internal bleeding. Harold spent nearly 3 months in the hospital recovering. He lost weight, strength, confidence. He still walks with assistance. And the worst part? The stent was placed in an artery that might never have caused him any trouble. That's why this bears repeating. If you don't have clear symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath during activity, or dizziness, you might not need that test. And if your stress test does find something, ask questions before jumping to the next procedure. What are we really fixing here? Is this helping or just reacting? Because the goal of medicine, especially in our later years, shouldn't be to chase every shadow. It should be about clarity, quality, and care that honors your life, not just your lab results. So as we wrap up this video, here's what I want you to remember. After 70, your body deserves smarter care, not just more care. Ole. Not every test leads to peace of mind. Sometimes it opens a door to unnecessary risk. The best health decisions often start with the simplest question. Is this test truly necessary? You don't have to live in fear. You just need to live informed. Thanks for watching, and if this video helped shift your perspective, share it with someone you love. Because when it comes to growing older, less can sometimes mean more. Let's pause for a moment and take a breath, because getting older doesn't mean getting passive. It means asking better questions. It means saying, just because the test exists doesn't mean I need it. Too often, after 70, healthcare starts to feel like a conveyor belt. Test after test, scan after scan, poke, prod, worry, repeat. But real care? It's not a checklist. It's a conversation. Your body is unique. Your values are yours alone. So why should your health plan look like everyone else's? Here's what no one tells you. Not getting a test isn't the same as giving up. It's choosing wisely. It's knowing that doing more isn't always doing better. Sometimes, the bravest thing is saying, no, not now. That test doesn't serve me. Because every test has two sides: what it might find and what it might cost you in stress, false alarms, or risky treatments. So instead of rushing toward every new scan or screening, try this. Pause. Ask, what's the goal? Ask, will this test truly improve my life or just disrupt it? This is what smart aging looks like. Not fear, not overreaction, but clarity, trust, and personal power. Because after 70, health isn't just about numbers or images on a screen. It's about living your values on your terms. So next time you're offered a test, remember, you don't owe anyone blind compliance. What you do owe yourself is peace of mind rooted in wisdom. Thanks for staying with us. If this video resonated with you, or if it made you rethink even one medical decisions, share it with someone you love. Because informed choices are one of the greatest forms of care we can give each other.